Hi, this is Certified Genius 712 here, and today what we're going to do is a math tutorial video. Obviously, we're going to progress in standards, and I'm hoping to get to calculus 1, 2, and 3. But today we're going to start with something easy, perimeter, area, and volume for those viewers who need extra help. Then we got a square, and it's a 6 by 6, and it's all equal signs, because a square has to be equal on every side. So the perimeter would be you adding up every side. So if it's 6 on each side, that would be 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, or you could put 6 times 4. Because repeated addition, which hopefully you have learned, ends up being multiplication times how many numbers you have. So 6 times 4 equals 24. So that means that the perimeter would be 24. Let's say these are measured in inches. 24 inches. Yeah. Okay. And then now we're going to do area. So with perimeter and area, these two things can be in 2 dimensions. It's 2-dimensional. But when it gets to volume, that comes with 3-dimensional shapes, of which we're going to elaborate on in the next video. So now it's time to find the area. And with area, we have to multiply our 2 values in order to get the area. So instead of us doing addition, like on the perimeter, we're going to do multiplication. And we all know that a square has equal sides. So that means that instead, the area, which I'm going to represent as A, is going to equal 6 times 6, which means that the area is going to equal 36 inches squared. Does that make sense? If it does, I'm going to give you a sample problem with a square, and I'm going to give you one with a rectangle. When we start doing volume, I'm going to show you different formulas for that. Or maybe we won't do volume in this video. Now I'm going to give you one to do by yourselves. It's going to be a rectangle. Okay. So you have a rectangle. The longest side is 9 inches and the shorter side is 6. And what I would like you to do is to find the perimeter and the area of the rectangle. I'm going to give you a short minute to do that. Okay, now hopefully you have this ready, and I'm going to go over with you. So, as you can see, you have the long side, which equals 9 inches, and the shorter sides, which equals 6 inches. And remember, with perimeter, you have to add all of the sides together. That's why down here you see 18 plus 12. But, because there's 2 6's, and 6 plus 6 equals 12. 2 9s, and 9 plus 9 equals 18, and you add those together in order to get the total value of units in here. Not total value of units, but you know what I mean if you have taken perimeter and area. And then to find the area, you have to multiply. A multiplication, you're going to do one side, the longest side, which is 9, times the shorter side, which is 6, which is going to equal 54 inches squared. Because you gotta remember that this is a 2-dimensional shape. I'll give you another one. This one's gonna be... Maybe I should start volume. Alright, now we're going to start volume. Alright, volume. So with different types of shapes, you have different volume formulas and different volumes. Like you can have a cube. This is going to be a horrible cube, but you know, don't judge. This is a cube. And with this cube, we see that you have a this, and this line going back. If you can see it, if you can understand it. So that means that this right here, this is going to be our length. And our length, which is we're going to represent as L. Length is basically the length of the first surface that you see. So you see how this part is pointing this way. This is going to be the length. Now this part that's going back would be our width. It's going to be the thickness of the shape, which we're going to represent as W. And what's going vertically up, which is going up like this, that's our height, which we're going to represent as H. So in order to find the volume, what we're going to have to do is multiply all of these values together. So the essential formula would be V, which stands for volume, is going to equal length times width times height. And this is only for a cube and like a rectangular prism. But this would be the formula that you would have to use for that shape. Next, we're going to do a cylinder, which I kind of suck at drawing cylinders, so don't judge. And now we have this cylinder up here that I was covering with my hand. And a cylinder is a very unique shape. The circles that you see on the top and the bottom of a cylinder are called bases. Right? So these are our bases. And you'll notice something weird about the bases is that they're circles. And in order to find volume for a cylinder, you're going to have the area of the base, which is a circle. And the area of a circle, which I'll go to a different page. So the area of a circle equals pi times the radius squared. Right? So the area of a circle equals pi times the radius squared. But when we're trying to find the volume of a cylinder, of which that's the entire shape, you're going to have to do that times the height of the cylinder. And also, for those who don't know, the radius is half of the diameter of a circle. And the diameter is the total, length of the circle, if that makes sense. So half of it would be like this, but if you see a full line, then it would be the diameter. Right here we have radius, and the radius is just half of the diameter, and we're going to have to do, with the formula is V equals pi times the radius squared times the height. So this is our formula for our cylinder. And we know pi is just hopefully you know, is 3.14. And it's an irrational number, so it goes on forever, but you can represent it as just 3.14. And then your height of your cylinder would just be represented by this dotted line right here, but you won't always be given that, so you'll just see it on the side, such as like this, and it'll just say any number. Right here you'll see it like that, and then sometimes you'll see the entire diameter of the circle, and it'll be maybe like an even number or an odd number, and you just have to divide that by 2 in order to find out the radius. So we're going to do an example of volume for a cube. Let's see. So let's say the length is 9, the width is 3, and the height is 7. So L is equal to 9, W, which is width, is equal to 3, and the height is equal to 7. And if you follow the formula, which is volume equals length times width times height, you would do 9. The volume would equal 9 times 3 times 7. You could do that on a calculator, or you could follow like PEMDAS, which really doesn't matter. 9 times 3 is 27, and 27 times 7, it's 49, carry the 4, 7 times is 14, now equal 189. Let's say this was measured in inches, cubed. And the reason why it would be cubed is because it's a 3-dimensional figure. So our answer would be 189 inches cubed, and don't ever forget the units or else you might get counted wrong on a test. Next, we're going to do a cylinder. And you can try some more sample problems if you want to, just by looking it up in Google. But for our cylinder, we always start off with the formula. Well, first I gotta draw the diagram, but you get the idea. This is a horrible cylinder, by the way. So the formula is volume equals pi times the radius squared times the height of the cylinder. So our radius is going to equal 4 centimeters, and our height is going to be 8 centimeters. And essentially what you're doing when you're trying to do volume of every one of these types of shapes is just plug in the numbers for the formula. And this is just mainly for 3D shapes because perimeter and area are incredibly easy. So that means that the volume is going to equal, as we said, pi represents 3.14 times the radius squared. Don't ever forget that squared because you'll get an insanely wrong answer. We said it was 4 squared times 8. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to do that while I do it on my calculator. Okay, hopefully you had enough time to get the volume. If you did, you know you could just pause the video or whatever. But if you're to do this right, which we said that our equation was 3.14 times 4 squared times 8. And you just messed up the video. How dare you?
Killer Face Kai 2.0. Go subscribe to AJ.
So we already said that the equation was 3.14 times 4 squared times 8. We already know that 3.14 is pi, so you could plug that into a calculator if you have a scientific one, or any search engine that you have. And then 4 squared would be 4 times 4. Because if you learn exponents, you know, it's not 4 times 2, it's 4 times that same number, as many times as the exponent states. 4 times 4 is obviously 16, so you would do 3.14 times 16 times 8. And hopefully, if you were to do this correctly, you would have gotten volume equals 401.92 centimeters cubed. And sometimes, or most of the time, really all the time, a problem or math problem is going to ask you to round to the nearest whole number or round to the nearest tenth. If we were going to round to the nearest whole number, then we would round to 402. If we were to round to the nearest tenth, then we would have to go up. I honestly don't know. And right now, you know, you could just kind of like solve that on your own. But right now, if we're going to round it to the whole number, it would be 402 centimeters cubed. And you can always check your work by substituting this, your answer, the volume, into your original equation. So we know our original equation was that V equals 3.14 times 4 squared times 8. Instead of V, we're going to put 402 times equals 3.14 times 16, because we said 4 squared equals 16, times 8. And obviously you're going to get this in a decimal form because you're multiplying by pi. But if you were to round it up, of which we did round it to the nearest whole number, you're going to get 402 centimeters cubed. And 402 equals 402, and that's check. So you always check your answer afterwards, only because you never know you're wrong. And hopefully you got a lot out of this video. My next video will probably be on volume of different shapes, such as the cone. And we'll see you guys next time. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. And have a nice day. Peace.